Well, good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate you being here today. A little less than an hour ago, I met in my office with Joe Logan, Chief of our police, Honolulu Police Department. And after considerable discussion that's been ongoing for some time now, Joe has decided to retire, and so I have accepted his letter of resignation effective June 30th. Joe has put out a release, so I suggest that you take a look at it, but I can tell you that we've had a lot of conversation about this for some time, so it doesn't come as a surprise. Consequently, I was able to prepare on what I think is the best transition going forward, and while I don't have sole authority as mayor to name the interim chief, I'm going to strongly recommend that Ben Moskowitz, currently the chief on Hawaii Island, come back to Honolulu. Ben and I have talked. He's agreed to do that. I've talked to Mayor Alameda. So pending the official approval by the Honolulu Police Commission, which we'll have to vote on it, my strong recommendations have Ben Moskowitz take over the role of interim chief while we go about the task of looking for a chief effective July 16th. So Joe will be retiring on June 30th. Ben Moskowitz will be the interim chief effective July 16th. He'll be leaving his position as chief where he served for literally the last 2 years and 6 months. He returns to HPD where he spent 22 years prior. Outstanding police officer, outstanding leadership skills, and we're looking forward to having him arrive and to take the reins. So I can only answer a limited number of questions because this is a personnel matter, but we wanted to make it official. I think it's quite newsworthy anytime that the chief of police steps down. So with that, go ahead.
Mayor, biggest concern, was it the fact that there's so many vacancies?
No, I wouldn't say vacancies were a driver. We're very concerned about the vacancies. This was a whole lot of different things going on. And, you know, quite honestly, recruiting police officers everywhere is difficult these days. And I'm just really interested in what our numbers are, but not focused on that. Clearly, retention is an important part of it with senior officers. And at the end of the day, that's how we looked at that number. Okay. Today's announcement seems sudden. Why now? Well, it's not sudden, to be honest with you. This is a conversation that we've been having for quite some time. We had to get to a place where we both agreed that this was the best thing for the department going forward, and we've now come to that realization. So I'm not surprised by it at all. Okay, yeah.
When did the conversation start?
Some time ago, quite a while ago, actually. But they got very focused and very pointed recently as last week.
I know moving forward, as you said, with the police commission and now certainly, what's the next police chief, the 13th police chief for Honolulu Police Department? What are some of the important aspects you think that person needs?
Well, this is a leadership job, and it's among all the leadership jobs we have in the city, one of the toughest one and one of the biggest and most responsible. So we really need somebody who knows the business, who's a great leader, who communicates well, and at the same time can hopefully, as I just alluded to, with respect to retaining senior officers, make sure that that hopefully they give it a real serious thought before people retire and will stay with the force even longer.
Outside of the vacancies, were there any other concerns, budget monies, and or any accomplishments that?
No, I think, look, Joe served us well for 3 years to the best of his ability. Like I said, we had a lot of discussions. There are a lot of issues. The role of being the chief of police is a very complex one, and there are many different things that get considered. So we just agreed that now this was the best time to leave for the benefit of the department.
What was the chief's reaction after today's meeting? We saw him in the hallway as he was leaving. He told us no comment.
Yeah.
What was his reaction?
Well, we parted amicably. I knew he was coming in today. We had talked about it last week, and it was a very amicable separation. We shook hands. We said we're going to continue to be friends, and I wanted to wish him well. It was not hostile. Look, as I said, some of you know me better than others, but you know, this was careful deliberation, a lot of conversation over an extended period of time to come to a meeting of the minds. And so no surprise on either side, and I wanted Joe to make the decision, and he made the decision.
Can you elaborate on some of the issues? You said there were a lot of issues.
No, I'm not going to go into the details of that. I appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor, is it important for it to be a local, the next chief to be local?
You know, I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to take an open mind on it. As I said, I am heartily endorsing Ben Moskowitz to come in and be our interim chief. We'll see who applies for the job position of chief. I could say one thing is that I don't anticipate, and I'm going to strongly encourage the council in the selection of the next chief to have another one-year situation, which was the amount of time last time. Timing is really important right now. I place a high premium on leadership. And I want to make sure we have the very best leadership for the men and women of the Honolulu Police Department on an official, full-time basis sooner rather than later. In the interim, however, I have full confidence in Ben Moskowitz's ability. In fact, some people have already contacted me because you know how this town is, and I'm really encouraged and gratified by the things I've been hearing just this afternoon.
And what is it about Chief Moskowitz that makes you?
Well, Chief is, first of all, he's had now 2.5 years to be the chief at the Big Island, and talking with Chief Alameda, he said that it's going to be a real loss. He's done a really solid job over there. He's been innovative. He's gained the confidence of the men and women on that police department. I think that the other thing about Ben that I really like, you know, he applied to be chief last time. I believe he came in second in the balloting out of the 4 people, the 4 finalists. He's just a hell of a police officer. Yeah.
There is a
One final question.
process.
One final question.
There's a process in terms of how the police commission does things. Is
Yep.
this any way stepping on their toes?
No, I don't think I'm stepping on their toes because I've been very candid. I've met with the commission. I talked to them. I let them know my plans. They were well aware of this for some time now. You know, look, at the end of the day, I don't have sole authority as the mayor to hire and fire, but I can certainly have the kind of conversations I had with respect to the leadership of the department, and that's exactly what I exercised.